Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Gracie's Garden. I am in Florida Zone 9B, and today we're going to do a little bit of a plant haul and also plant some seeds for fall. Even though it's Florida and it is still hot, we are going to plant some fall seeds just to try to get things going. So let's do the plant haul first. So the first plant I purchased was this. An ant plant. It's in a nice hanging basket. Now look at that calyx on that. I got this at the farmer's market and it was $20, which I didn't think is bad at all. I mean, this base here is quite big, as you can see next to my hand. And I just thought that was fantastic. And it did have a little bloom on it. Oh, it's still there, right there. Oh, tiny white flower. And the woman told me those white flowers would turn into a berry. So that will have seeds. So I am very excited for that. The next plant was a umbrella plant, is what she called it. It's a long stem. It seems to be pretty much a generic name because there's so many plants labeled as umbrella plants. So she had one of these that was bigger. This one's probably about 1.5 feet tall. And the bigger one had little flowers that grew along the stem, like up in this area of the stem they were growing. They were like little tufts of flowers, and then they were turning into berries as well. And she said in the ground these will get about 6 or 7 feet tall. So I am going to plant this in the ground. I just got to figure out where. Okay, so the next plant I purchased at Lowe's. These were clearance plants. So this is Sanchesia. This is the leaf. And there's like 3 different plants in the pot. I got 2 of these. They were on clearance for $1.25. So I am quite pleased with that. There's the stats for it. And I am looking for something for the shade area, so I think this will be a good plant for the side of the house. I believe for some reason it's in my mind that these get a yellow flower on it. Just a tiny little buttercup looking flower. The next plant I purchased was some succulents. And these were also on clearance. They were $7 each, I believe, originally, but they were on clearance for $4. And this is the other packet of succulents I got. One of my succulent gardens, it just retained too much water and everything just kind of is not doing so well in it. So I thought these would be a nice addition to kind of round everything out. And I also purchased a few other things at Lowe's. Seeds. I have a few more plants I'll show you in a minute. I'll just show you some of the seeds. So I got some lettuce, carrots, tomatoes. Tomatoes grow well in winter here in Florida. Radishes and pumpkins. It's late to be getting pumpkins in the ground, but I'm going to go for it anyways. These are mostly for the animals, and my mom's dog has stomach problems and eats pumpkin, so I thought I'd give that a try. And then I purchased this big tray at Lowe's. I'm not sure how many inches it is. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So this was $10, but I used those flimsy ones from the Dollar Tree. You know, you could put multiple plants in here. And I thought this is such a better thing because this will last me quite a few years. So, and I thought that tray was well worth it. Ceramic trays are so expensive. They're like $25 for one of those big ones. So I thought this plastic one will work just as well. So, and these are the seeds that we're going to be planting up today in the garden. Let me go show you the other plants I purchased. Okay, we're in the back garden, and I purchased 2 of these. These get a pretty purple flower on it. There's 3, maybe 4, 3 in there. So these get, like I said, a pretty purple flower. And I have one of these already. I purchased 2 more of these. One's in the ground already, and it is doing great. And then the next one was this. And purple flowers. So one of the plants I purchased a few weeks ago died suddenly. I mean, that happens with clearance plants. So I'm going to be replacing it. It's right in here. And we'll put that. And then this is also, I have to weed this out. It's a little overgrown and the grass is high. It's been raining nonstop. So I'm going to weed this out and pull the devil's trumpet that died. It's back over there somewhere. And going to plant and put down some compost and fertilizer and fresh bag of soil, and I'm going to plant the carrots and the pumpkins back in here. And I think the radishes and lettuce I'm going to plant in a front container. I'll show you that in a minute. But everything's doing good. This is the Joseph's coat. It is doing really well. Look how pretty those leaves are. Just got that purplish tint to them. But it is doing really good. A lot of weeding needs to happen in here. And this is the iris the neighbor gave me up the street a few years ago. 2 years ago, I think. And it finally bloomed. So, very pretty. And then the, can't think what the name of this is, but it's the one that you make the lay flowers with in Hawaii. So it is finally put on a lot of growth. Not height-wise, just a lot of leaves. Okay, let me go show you the container where we're going to be planting the lettuce and the radishes, and we'll get started on that project. Okay, so this is the container we are going to plant the lettuce and radishes in. It's filled with weeds right now, and I think that's a Mexican sunflower there. I'll move the light out of there. There is some chives down. The soil has sunk really low for some reason. So we're going to top that off. And I'm going to take the chives out and just replant it back in there. And I think there's a random onion or 2 still in that planter. So I'm just going to take those out and bring them into the kitchen. But yeah, this is where we're going to do the lettuce and the radishes in. And I'm going to move all these plants out of the way so we can get in there for better access. So I pulled a Mexican sunflower out of the container. So I am going to just plant it up in a pot. I want some Mexican sunflowers for the backyard this spring or this fall. So I'll plant these. If I plant them now, they should bloom for their fall cycle. I was also able to harvest just some little scallion onions, or not scallions, just little green onions. And then some parsley. There's 2 different types of parsley. Look at the base of those. I think I never knew that parsley would look like that. So I think one is Italian flat leaf parsley, and the other one's just regular parsley. I usually feed this to our bunny rabbit. So I took this out, but I'm going to replant it back in there and see if it will regenerate and come back. It used to be quite full. And then here is the chives. They're not looking so good. I think I'm just going to cut them, put the roots back in there, and if they come back, they come back. If they don't, they don't. But they smell delicious, I will say that. So I am just going to fertilize with this Virgo Organic Plant Food Blood Meal. I don't know how you say it. But I'm just going to add in, sprinkle in a little bit of this. Kind of looks like bunny poop, but, and I'm going to throw some in my green pepper plants that are behind us here. They've not been looking good. So just a reminder, these are the two things we're going to grow. The seed packets got wet because it has been storming all day here. And we are just going to plant the whole thing since these got wet. And I forgot them in the lightning was bad, so I ran for the house and abandoned the seed packets. So this is what the seeds look like for the lettuce. So I'm just going to plant them all. And then for the radishes, they're pelletized. I do not like pelletized stuff. It says there's 150 seeds in there. I'm not sure about that. Does that look like 150 seeds? It probably is. But we are going to plant these, let's see, 6 to 10 days to germinate and about a ½ inch deep. Okay, it started to rain again, so this is just an update. I got the seeds, radishes on this side, lettuce on this side, and then I put the parsley in the back. This chives, I'm not going to replant. They're just too sad looking. And then we'll take the onions inside, and then everything else we will plant tomorrow, so we'll do that in a little bit. We have another set of storms coming in, and apparently flood warnings now, so we'll do this on Labor Day. Get these planted in the backyard. Hi everyone, welcome back to plant haul number 2. So it's been a week since I filmed the last plant haul, so I'm going to show you what I've gotten this week. So I went to 2 different places. I went to Lowe's, where all the plants were 50% off this week. Not all the plants, but all the plants on clearance were 50% off. And then I also went to a plant sale at a woman's house who volunteers for the library. It was funds to raise for the local library. So I'll show you those 2 plant hauls here. So 2.0. So the first one from the volunteers for the library, I got this. It's a hibiscus. I thought that was pretty, and this is supposed to get pink flowers, she told me. Everything from that plant sale was only like $4 each, so this is good. There's 3 plants in there, and it's about a foot and a half tall, so that was good value. Like I said, she has pink flowers. She showed me one she had in her yard, and it was like 7 foot tall. She's like, you can just lop it back, and it will keep coming back, and it keeps self-seeding. That's why she has so many of them. So that was a good find. Okay, the next plant was this. Now this plant does have aphids, as she sold it to me, which is fine. So I'm just going to clean this up today. There's the aphids there. So this has 4 or 5 different plants in there. The tag that's on there is for the wrong plants, just the extra pot, just the pot she used. So this, I do not know what this is, and she did not remember the name of it, and it did not have a tag on it. But she says these get pretty white flowers that kind of bunch up at the top. So I'm going to plant this in the backyard. The next was a orchid tree. I just love those little heart-shaped looking flower leaves on it. And this one is the orchid tree that gets white flowers. I think most common here in Florida is orchid trees with pink flowers, but this one has the white flowers on it. So I'm glad to have that. The ones I've tried to grow from my neighbor's seeds have not done well, and I've not gotten them to grow beyond like an inch or so. So hopefully, being a more established tree, I can get this going. And next was a candlestick cassia. And these are the ones that get the yellow flowers on it. I used to have one of these, if y'all remember, in the front yard, but it got ants so bad and I couldn't get it under control, and it just died over time. So we have a new one to give this a try. I'm going to plant this one in the backyard. I think last year when I had one of these before it died of ants, I had it for 4 or 5 years, and it just, the ground was so soft where it was at, and I think the ants just kind of made it worse. So I think I'm going to put this in a better area, and it will do quite well. And next was a night blooming orchid. So this is a nice one. She had a huge one there. I've never seen one so huge before. And they had probably 10 to 15 flower buds on it. And it's a night blooming orchid, so I am excited for this. The next plant I purchased at the sale was this palm tree. It's called a lady palm. I'm not sure if that's the actual name. All the years of living in Florida, I've never heard that. But it has this almost burlappy type structure on the base. So I thought that was interesting. So I bought one of those and I'm going to give it a try. Okay, and the next few plants are plants I purchased at Lowe's, and they were 50% off. So first was a succulent. I'm going to say this is one that's like ogre ears, but just very mature. And then it has like a little hitchhiker of it. I can't think of what these are called, but there's some kind of, they get little pink flowers or white flowers on them. The next was this with called a blue quartz. I thought that was nice looking. You can see one side of it's gone, but everything over here looks good and healthy. So it has a little baby there, so I think we'll be okay with that. The next plant was a silver streak pothos, and it is quite large. This was $10. They were originally $20, and this is one of those self-watering cans. And it is doing quite well, and it has a lot of aerial roots, as you can see there, quite large ones. So I am going to try to snip this or get it into a bigger pot. I kind of want to try one of these growing up a post, so I might try that in the backyard. And there's like 5 in here. This plant has been severely overwatered, but I think it'll be okay once it dries out. And the last plant I purchased was this, the Wandering Jew. It is heavy, so I'm going to leave it there, and it is trailing all over the ground. It is fine, but also I think it's been overwatered and didn't get enough sunlight on top. But it was only $8 for this huge basket, so I'm quite pleased with that. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet. I need a shepherd's hook that's going to hold the weight of the plant, but I am very, very pleased with that one. And that is all I purchased at the plant sale. Okay, so as I said earlier with the plant haul, it's been about a week since the plant haul, and life has been lifing, and so I haven't got to some things. But this is the area where we planted the radishes over here, and then the lettuces over here. As you can see, the lettuce hasn't really done anything, but the radishes have come up. So I am going to go ahead and plant the carrots over on where the lettuce is planted. I don't think it's going to come up. We've had a lot of rain, and I think the seeds just either got washed out or maybe overwatered. I'm not sure, but they've not really done their thing. So I am just going to plant the carrots over there. The carrot seeds. And these are the carrot seeds that got left out in the rainstorm. I am just going to sprinkle them in. So if they take off, they take off. If they don't, they don't. And on top of it, here are the tomato seeds that got wet as well because they were left out in the rain. I am just going to throw those in there as well. So let's take a look at these. Yeah. So I am just going to sprinkle those in there. and over on this side where there doesn't seem to be a whole lot. And if they take off, they do. I know with seeds that are wet, sometimes they just don't do too well. So we'll just let them sit there, and you know what, seeds that are wet left in their package in the heat, I guess it could be a good or bad thing, but this is what I'm going to do with them for now, just to get them in the ground. And let me show you a plant that is in bloom. It's the stinky flower plant. As you can see, all the flies are on it. Oh, it's so gross. That flower is supposed to smell like meat, I believe. And then, of course, right above it. Okay, everyone, so that's going to be it for Gracie's Garden this week. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.